Help me hit 7,000 subscribers. Support the video with a like and share your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. Thank you. My name is Caleb, and I'm 32. I'm not the dramatic type, nor the kind of man who picks fights over small things. I've always believed that love works best when you trust someone enough not to read into every little insecurity. And for the most part, my girlfriend, Lila, made that easy. She was warm, charming in this airy, effortless way, and had this quiet laugh that used to make my entire day feel lighter. But I guess every love story has a moment where you stop and think, wait, what exactly am I looking at here? Our third anniversary was supposed to be that soft pause in the year where we both stepped away from work, stress, everything, and remembered why we were still choosing each other. I booked a reservation at a place she had mentioned months ago, one of those restaurants with low lighting, real linen tablecloths, and a menu you look at sideways because there are no prices printed. I picked her up that night. She looked beautiful, hair curled at the ends, a soft pink dress that looked like it belonged to some earlier decade, delicate and warm. She kissed my cheek, held my hand, and told me she couldn't wait for the evening. What I didn't know was that the evening came with an unexpected third wheel. We had just been seated when she smiled at her phone, typed quickly and said, "Oh, by the way, Rowan might swing by. He's in the area." I blinked. "Rowan?" She nodded casually. "You know, Rowan, my best friend. From college. I knew about him, sure. The way you know about someone you've never met but have heard stories of. Late-night study sessions, road trips, long-running inside jokes that didn't always translate. I had assumed he lived in another state. I had also assumed tonight was about us. Before I could process how I felt, he was already walking toward our table. Tall, athletic, with that overly confident smile of a man who knows he's welcome even when he shouldn't be. Lila stood up to hug him, and suddenly the tone of the evening shifted from romantic to nostalgic reunion in seconds. They sat across from me, talking like no time had passed, laughing about professors, about old dorm stories, about some beach trip where Rowan apparently lost his wallet but not his sense of humor. I tried to smile, tried to nod, tried to enjoy my own anniversary dinner, but I could feel a quiet heaviness in my chest. Then came the moment that turned irritation into disbelief. The waiter arrived, polite and patient, asking if we'd like to look at the drink menu. Before either of us could speak, Rowan said, "Actually, we'll take the Montreville Reserve, 2014. The waiter paused. "That's our premier bottle? Are you sure?" "Oh, absolutely." Rowan grinned, glancing at me like he was doing me a favor. "My man here's got it." I felt the words hit me like a slap. "My man here's got it." Lila didn't correct him. She laughed. This light, musical laugh I had always loved. Only now it felt misplaced, almost careless. The wine arrived, and the evening blurred into a scene I was suddenly watching from a distance. The two of them sipping something that cost half my rent, leaning toward each other, nostalgia dripping from every inside joke. My glass stayed mostly full. At some point, Lila put her hand over Rowan's while laughing at some memory about an infamous dorm kitchen fire. And the heaviness in my chest turned into something sharper. Not jealousy, not exactly betrayal. Just a simple, quiet realization. I wasn't part of this evening at all. I excused myself to the bathroom. Not in a dramatic way, just calmly, quietly. Inside the restroom, the soft lighting made everything feel too gentle, too peaceful for what ran through my mind. I stared at the mirror, at the reflection of a man trying to figure out why he felt so small at his own anniversary dinner. But then something clicked. A kind of clarity. It wasn't rage. It wasn't even hurt. It was a decision. I walked back to the dining room just far enough to catch the waiter's attention. I told him, politely, that I would like to pay only my portion of the meal, the entree I ordered, the glass I barely touched. He printed my receipt quietly, as if he understood more than he let on. I signed it. Then I slipped out through the back door. The evening air was cold but strangely freeing. I walked slowly to my car, feeling more weight fall off with every step. It wasn't until I started the engine that my phone lit up. 3 missed calls from Lila, then 12, then 27. By the time I reached home, the number was 50. and the bill apparently had just arrived. I didn't pick up the first call, or the 10th, or the 50th. I just placed my phone on the counter, let it buzz itself breathless, and sat on the couch in the quiet of my apartment. Some people imagine heartbreak as a dramatic, cinematic collapse. But the truth is quieter than that. It feels like a door clicking shut in a hallway you didn't realize you were standing in. A small, soft sound that somehow changes everything. It took her 12 minutes to go from confused to frantic. At first her messages were predictable. Where did you go? Did you step outside? Caleb? Then the tone shifted. The waiter said you paid only your part. What is going on? This isn't funny. Come back right now. I sat there, letting the screen fill with words I was no longer obligated to respond to. Around midnight, she finally texted something different. A single line. Please, just tell me what I did wrong. I exhaled, not angry, just tired. Not vindictive, just aware. I typed back. You invited him to our night. 3 dots appeared instantly. I didn't think it was a big deal. He's my oldest friend. You know that. I stared at the message. Maybe in her world that was enough. Maybe she genuinely didn't see the problem. But in mine, respect isn't something you negotiate by seeing how much your partner will tolerate. I replied, you didn't ask. You didn't warn me. You let him order a bottle that cost more than the entire dinner. And you laughed with him like I wasn't even sitting there. A longer pause this time. It wasn't like that. But it was. She knew it. I knew it. Even the waiter probably knew it. My phone buzzed again, this time a call. Against my better judgment, I answered. Her voice came through shaky, threaded with panic and something close to guilt. Caleb? Can you please come over? Or let me come to you. We need to talk. I kept my tone steady. Talk. I didn't mean to make you feel left out, she said. I don't know. I got caught up. He's someone I shared a lot of history with. It was comfortable. Comfortable. It landed like a stone dropped into water. Small, but the ripples were enormous. And what about us? I asked. Were we comfortable to you? Because it wasn't our night anymore. It was yours. And his. She sniffed, frustrated. It wasn't romantic, if that's what you're thinking. That's not the point, I said. The point is, if I had invited an old female friend to our anniversary, ordered an expensive bottle on your tab, and laughed with her like you weren't there, would you have stayed? Silence. A long, heavy silence that answered for her. Finally, she whispered, I didn't think it would hurt you. That was the heart of it. Not the wine. Not Rowan. Not the laughter. She just didn't think. Caleb, please, don't do this over one dinner. It wasn't one dinner, I said quietly. It was clarity. She didn't speak for a while. Just soft breathing, like she was piecing the moment together. When she finally did talk, her voice was smaller. Are you leaving me? I closed my eyes. I didn't want to answer out of anger, so I waited until the truth felt calm enough to say. I'm stepping away, I replied. You can talk to your best friend about the bill. And everything else. Don't do that, she choked. Don't act like he means more than you. I'm not acting, I said. I'm reacting. More silence. Then a quiet, desperate plea. Can we try again? I didn't say yes. I didn't say no. I simply told her the only honest thing left. I need time. And for once, she didn't argue. The next few days were colder than I expected. She sent long messages, apologies, explanations, lists of reasons why it wasn't what it looked like. I read them all, responded to none. Not out of cruelty, but because sometimes you need distance to understand which parts of your life were real and which parts were comfortable illusions. On the 4th day, she showed up at my door. No makeup, no pink dress, just Lila. Smaller, quieter, her eyes rimmed red. She handed me a folded receipt. The restaurant bill. He paid the wine, she said. All of it. He shouldn't have ordered it. I told him that. I looked at the receipt, then at her. I'm not asking for anything, she whispered. I just wanted you to know I heard you. It wasn't enough to fix what she broke. But it was the first moment in this entire mess that felt honest. And honesty, at least, was a place to start, even if it wasn't a place to return to. I didn't invite her inside. I didn't slam the door either. I just nodded, thanked her, and let the moment sit between us. Heavy, imperfect, and real. Sometimes the clearest truths come from the quietest exits. And that night, slipping out the back door wasn't running away. It was finally walking toward myself.